Okay, hello everyone. So today I'm going to do things a little bit differently. Instead of working from a pattern, I'm going to just work from scratch and show you how I'm creating this from basically nothing. I thought this would be a good way to do this project so that if you don't want to go and buy a pattern or anything, then you can make this yourself. I'm going to be making a clear raincoat. I've always really loved the clear raincoats ever since they kind of came onto the scene a few years ago, I feel. And I saw another one in Zara recently and I really loved it, so I want to try to recreate it. It had this really nice like black binding on all of the seams, and I'd really like to try to do that as well because I think it just kind of adds a little bit of contrast. So I've got some clear PVC and a few other things, so hopefully I can recreate this. I'm also going to be working with this raincoat I already have to help me come up with the shape, especially for the hood piece, because I think that's going to be the hardest piece to make the shape for. I hope this will show you how to make your own raincoat if it works out for me, and yeah, let's get started. Okay, so what I have got for this is the plastic fabric. I feel like I have about 1.5 meters to 2 meters of this. This just left over from another project, so I'm hoping that I have enough of it. Essentially because Spotlight was actually sold out of it. You can just get this from Spotlight. Lynn Craft really have it. It's actually in the homeware section because it's down as like a table protector, and I'd probably get about 2 meters just to be safe. The next thing I've got is some bias binding, so I just got this in black because I want nice black contrast. This is a 25mm by 3 meters. I got 2 of them because I'm not sure how much I'm going to need. I want to put this on basically all of the seams, so I'm thinking I'm going to need a little bit more than I think. So I got 2 packets just in case. I then got some just cord, drawstring, so this is going to go in the hood and also around the waist. And then I got these little cord toggle thingies for the ends, just so I can resize it. Then I got some eyelets, which I already had at home with the eyelet press. This is just for where I'm going to put the cord. I'm not sure if I'm going to use the eyelets or not, or just leave it raw because the plastic won't fray. I'm not certain, but I've got these just in case. If you don't want to do eyelets, you don't want to get like a little eyelet pressing, then you can easily just get just cut a hole in it itself and it should stay fine because it's plastic, it's not going to fray. I just think it could be nice to have a cleaner finish with those. I then chose 2 different types of buttons. So this one, which I've just spilled everywhere, are plastic ones, and they didn't actually come in black, but I got them in purple and I really love the purple. And then I got metal ones which came in black. I did a test with the metal ones I have at home already, which is silver, and they seem to work okay. My main concern is that you can kind of see inside of them because they don't press down quite as thin as the plastic. And then the plastic ones don't actually work very well since Spotlight don't sell the tool you need to squish them down. I've tried my best to squish it down and I just couldn't get it working. I'm going to keep trying though, because I would like to have the purple plastic ones if I could. Okay, so these are the basic pieces we're going to be creating. So the first thing is to measure everything. So all of these measurements I just took on my own body with a measuring tape, and they're kind of estimates because this isn't a very strict following pattern making kind of pattern. It's just to get basic shape. So what we're going to do is do 70 centimeters down from the neck, because that's how long I want it to be, and 40 centimeters across here. So it's going to be in total 4 times this all the way around the body. And then it's going to be about 33 across up here where the armhole finishes, and that will be about 16 centimeters down from the neckline. The neck itself will be 15 centimeters. The shoulder, and just ignore I accidentally drew it the wrong way around before because I was drawing it upside down, so it's going to slant downwards, is going to be 14 centimeter shoulder. The armhole is 28. On the back, we're going to follow basically the same measurements. So what we're going to do when we draw the back is trace out everything except for the neck. So we're going to trace out the shoulder, the armhole, the side, the hem, and then up. And then when it gets to the neck, we'll raise it up slightly, and it will be a 12 centimeter neck. The sleeve is going to be a lot more confusing. So what we're going to do is have our straight line of 55 centimeters. Then we're going to bring it down 14 here. We're going to measure across 38. So 14 is down to my upper arm measurement, and then 38 is the upper arm measurement I want. And then this curve here is going to be the front, and we know from this that's going to be 28, and here the back will also be 28. So we're just kind of got to create a sleeve shape without following any specific rules. The wrist is completely up to you and completely interchangeable. I think I'm going to go with 25 for the wrist, but I might change this later, I will see. So that is going to be that measurement here. So when I took all of these measurements, I took them where I wanted the jacket to sit. So 38 isn't the actual measurement of my upper arm. That's how big I want the sleeve to be. So when I took the measuring tape around my arm, I made it loose and to sit kind of where I want the jacket to sit. And same with this 40 centimeters. That's not actually what around my hips it is. I just want it to sit around 40 centimeters wide. For the hood, we're going to look at the jacket I already have a little bit more. That's going to help us. But the strip will be about approximately 50 centimeters. I just measured this by putting the measuring tape over my head and seeing about how big it needs to be. And then I want it to be about 6 centimeters wide. That is a complete design choice. You can make it as wide or thick as you want. Just remember to deduct that value from the back. So this back will be the front neck, so which is 15, plus the back neck minus this measurement. So that is just 6, since the back neck is 12. So that's going to make this curve of the hood. And then this shape, I think I'm just going to kind of eyeball and base off what I already have. I might measure up here, up my face to check. A lot of this is just going to be measuring and checking against myself. So I'm going to go ahead and make this in paper to double check that it all looks good, and then I will begin doing it in plastic. Okay, you're probably thinking I'm kind of insane, but what I've done is I've cut all the pieces out of the paper with seam allowance. I've just added 1 centimeter seams everywhere at the hems of the arm and at the hem at the bottom. I haven't added anything, and then along the front I've added 2 centimeters just so the buttons can overlap, and I've added 2 centimeters along the front of the hood here, and then I haven't added anything along this bit of the hood or down the center back because those pieces are going to be on the fold. So I cut it out of paper just so I can check that it fits, that it is kind of creating the shape and look that I want. I would usually do this out of calico fabric when I'm creating a pattern, but I just want this to be a really quick and easy project, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go ahead and take a look at this. This looks like it's going to fit. I mean, nothing is too small, and that's kind of the main problem. So my arm fits in. The hood fits over my head pretty nicely, and it's as wide as I wanted it to be. So what I'm going to do is cut 2 of the front, 2 sleeves, 2 of this side hood piece. I'm going to cut 1 of this main center hood piece on the fold, and then 1 of the back on the fold as well. So I'm going to go cut these out. Now, just a note, if you're going to cut this out of the plastic like I am, then make sure you're sticking it down with some sort of sticky tape or weighing it down and just tracing it out and cutting it out like that. Because if you put the pins into the plastic, it's going to leave holes there. So I'm going to probably sticky tape it on because sticky tape will peel right off. So yeah. So the camera ran out of battery, so I don't know what you got of that, but basically I put the back down, folded out, and then the front pieces sitting over the top, and we're going to sew the shoulders. So I'm going to do that by grabbing the tape and folding it over the edge like this and stitching along the tape. Now, if you don't want to use the binding, then that's okay. But I would suggest putting some tape like this Scotch tape, which has a matte finish, on the plastic and on the bottom of your foot, obviously not covering where the needle will need to go through, just because this is really sticky fabric. It sticks to itself and it will stick to any other plastic, so it will stick to your machine, and it makes it really, really hard to sew with. This fabric is not a very easy fabric to sew with, but it creates a really nice finish. So just keep that in mind if you're wanting to sew it without the binding. I'm going to do it with the binding because I actually really like the finish with the binding, so I'm going to do that on both of the shoulder seams. Okay, so the shoulders have been sewn, as you can see, just stitched along like that. Now I'm going to insert the sleeve. Okay, so I lay this out with the armhole here, and then I can begin placing the sleeve around. So what I'm going to do is I am going to pin it, but I'm going to pin it with the tape. So the reason I'm pinning it with the tape is so that all the holes will be hidden. Because I'm going to pin it where the tape is, you won't be able to see the holes anyway. So I'm going to start matching the edges and then work my way in. Okay, so now this is beginning to look a lot more like a jacket. The shoulders and the armholes are both done. What I'm going to do is fold it over like so. Make sure the armhole is matching underneath here. Make sure this side matches and down this side matches. And I'm going to pin this with the bias binding and sew that, and do the same on the other side as well. Okay, I'm going to now take the hood center panel piece and the 2 side pieces. So taking the 2 side pieces and opening them up and taking this off the fold. Like sew. So all I'm going to do is put this on this side with the binding and this one around here with the binding, in the exact same way we've done all the other seams. Okay, the pieces we have currently look like this. The arm is fully attached, the side seams are shut. Put that to the side for now. And then we've got the hood all sewn. So now we're going to insert the cord along here. So we're going to turn this back 2 centimeters. So this I'm not going to add any black binding to because I feel like it will have enough black detailing having the cord in there like that. But if you want, you can add binding on there, you know, do something different. If you don't want cord in there, you can just fold it back and sew it. So I'm going to fold it back like so and stitch up here all the way around and then insert the cord. Before I do that, I'm going to add the eyelets. So the eyelets are going to sit 2 centimeters up and 3 centimeters in, because the fold back will be 2 centimeters. There's 1 centimeter seam, and then next centimeter up will mean once this is folded back and once that is sewn into the seam, it will sit in the center there. So I'm going to add the eyelets. So that's just using this eyelet thing and this. I'm just going to add the kind of like black metallic ones. I think they'll probably match the best. So I'll add those and then fold this back. Okay, so I've stitched that down. I held it down with tape while I was sewing it, so I can now peel that up. If you use something, I mean any tape should get up, but I find Scotch tape is really good at peeling back up, and also it should just tear where the stitches are, just like that. So I'm just going to go around and do that. Okay, now I'm going to begin threading this cording through here, and then I'll probably leave about 10 centimeters on each end, and put the toggles on the end as well. Okay, so now these are threaded through, I'm going to attach the little toggles. You could just tie it in a knot if you want. I just want to be able to adjust it so that it can be different like widths and gather in at the top. So I'm just going to do it like so. Just like that, and then that way, you know, you can gather it up as I please. And I'm just going to tie these in a double knot at the end, just like that. As you can see, the cord frays quite a bit. If you don't want this, because it is polyester, you can burn it lightly at the end, or even just use some like clear nail polish. I don't mind having the frayed ends though, so I'm going to keep it frayed. And I'm going to attach this to the neck now. Okay, now the final bit of sewing, I'm going to attach the hood onto the neckline. There's going to be 2 centimeter gap left at the neckline where I want the button wrap to be. So I'm going to start attaching the hood 2 centimeters in. And I'm just going to do the same thing with the tape all the way around. I'm going to also put the tape over the wrap where the hood isn't even, because I just think we'll have a nicer finish on it. So I'm going to pin all of that and then sew it and check back in. Okay, so the neckline is all attached. Now I'm going to place the buttons. So what I'm going to do is lay it flat and then mark in with a whiteboard marker where I want the buttons to go. So they're going to sit 1 centimeter in from the edge of the plastic. They'll sit 1 centimeter in. So I'm going to mark that in. So the first one I want right up near the top. So I'm going to do it just 1 centimeter in and 1 centimeter down, and match that here on the other side as well. And in this pack there were 6 buttons, so I'm going to do 6. And I think about 12 centimeters difference. So that's perfect. And then making sure not to run over any of the previous dots because it will undo it. So making sure it just crosses over the 2 centimeters. Just like so. So when we line that up, they should all match up. Perfect. So the stud piece, so the bit with the bump, goes on the inside, so that will be paired up with this circle piece. This black piece needs to go with the outside section. So I'm going to place this over the top where I want it to be, just right over that black dot I drew on. And then place the piece with the hole over the top, just like so, and use this tool to press it down. Just like that. And then put this other one on the other side. Okay, so I'm going to do this all the way down. If you have different buttons than these ones, they should have some sort of instruction on the back, or you should be able to look up the brand. You have to double check that it's the same way to do it, just because some of the brands work slightly differently. Okay, so I added the buttons down the front and it's all done. I think I might add some pockets over the top with some black binding around them just for some contrast, but I'm really happy with how this turned out. I also didn't end up adding a drawstring around the waist. I just thought it would be a bit too much and look a bit too wrinkled, but I'm really happy with how this turned out. And yeah, I think this has actually turned out to be quite an easy project. The hardest thing is dealing with this type of fabric, but you could easily make this out of any other type of fabric. So yeah, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment and all that fun stuff. If you want to see me make more stuff like this, which doesn't involve a pattern where you make all the pieces yourself based off just measurements of your body, then let me know. And yeah, bye!